Musante, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Chairman Grasso, Councilmember White, and staff. My name is Michael Musante. I'm the Senior Director of Government Relations at Focus. Focus supports the diverse set of public charter schools in D.C. by advocating for and supporting school autonomy, equity, and quality. Thank you for the opportunity. The legislation being discussed today has been itself an opportunity to have the complicated conversation about how to ensure that schools are safe and that discipline is fair. This committee has missed an opportunity, however, in the engineering of today's 90-person witness list. Almost to an individual, the educators who welcome DC students into their school buildings every day, teach the DC students in their classes, counsel DC students, coach them, and otherwise guide them are last on the list. Almost to a person, those educators in charter schools and in DCPS schools oppose this legislation. Instead, for a conversation supposedly about equity and fairness, you have inequitably devoted this committee's prime time and attention to speakers who do not stand in front of DC students every day. It is clear that the voices that are valued most are out-of-town academics and self-promoting authors. DC school leaders and principals care deeply about this issue, and at least 24 of them signed up to speak today. If they cannot be here this evening, it is because they're preparing to be back at school in front of those same DC children. They would be offended to hear an earlier witness say that anyone taking issue with this legislation is prioritizing adult needs. They would be offended to hear the suggestion that their schools are not spending UPSFF increases, 5 years of COLA increases for which we fought tooth and nail, to cover additional supports for at-risk children. And they would be offended that you chose to beam in witnesses from California, Illinois, and Ohio before hearing from school leaders and teachers in our own city. The intention behind this legislation is noble. We know that students who are in school consistently have more positive life outcomes than those who are habitually absent or suspended. However, bans that tie educators' hands will not improve those outcomes. Further, the bill conflicts with the School Reform Act. The SRA grants charter schools exclusive control over their expenditures, administration, personnel, and instructional methods, which would include discipline policies and procedures. That aside, the legislation as proposed will not ensure uniform data collection across LEAs. It may have unintended consequences on school climate and culture, and it fails to provide appropriate resources to equip schools to meet the needs of students who need the most support. Quality data collection and transparency both leverages changes in social behavior and enables good policy decision-making. While the current version of the bill moves us forward in uniformly defining suspension and expulsion, it does not improve the quality of data related to actual student behaviors. Working with schools to create a uniform set of infractions will enable more accurate comparisons of school responses to student behavior. Well, I'm going to skip ahead because I can see I'm going to run out of the time. While the body of research is clear that there is a correlation between exclusionary discipline and other negative student outcomes, the impact on school culture and climate is unclear. School leaders have the difficult reality of balancing what is good for each individual student with what is good for all students and the school as a whole. In my school, DC's recent analysis of years for mid-year transfers, student safety ranked just behind transportation challenges as the reason that a family was seeking a new school for their child. Limiting school leader autonomy and flexibility and maintaining the delicate balance of high behavioral expectations, victim safety and well-being, and compassionate therapeutic responses to students who exhibit troublesome behaviors is short-sighted and may ultimately result in a degradation of the very school culture and climate that we wish to improve. And finally, our students and schools need resources, not restrictions. When speaking with school leaders, our organization has heard over and over again that many feel ill-equipped to meet the needs of students experiencing the highest level of trauma. Consider Camden City, New Jersey schools. In their high schools, they were able to cut suspensions by nearly 75% in 1 year. What did that take on the resource side? An additional 4 full-time equivalents per school, 1 coordinator for school culture and climate, and 3 mental and behavioral health technicians working directly with students. Again, I'll jump down because I don't want to take any more time. I think the committee missed an opportunity today. We invite you to seek out the voices you may not hear from, school leaders, teachers, and students, and those who advocate on their behalf to ensure that this legislation improves data collection and reporting, allows leaders maximum flexibility in making decisions, and ensures schools are adequately resourced to serve their students. Thank you.